jacket. Just to, cause y'all got on short sleeves. I mean, y'all got on. Don't be.
All right, we're live.
Hey, give it here.
Oh, okay.
You gonna put it back?
Domestic violence issue.
Oh, it's okay. This is authentic.
Okay, how y'all doing? Welcome to Off the Record. I'm Joshua. This is Mimi. This is Naeemah. We're here with Sister Curtisa, discussing growing up in religion. And the reason we decided to do this, is because we want to offer our perspective on what it was like and how the positivity of growing up in religion, especially when you're balanced, and how basically how to interact with that for future generations, so they can know how to, be balanced and just be normal, so it won't be like a bad thing and they won't resent religion. That's pretty much why we do it.
Okay.
All right, so I'll start. There are many things that I loved about growing up in the Nation of Islam.
Same here.
I loved Savior's Day. Since we're in that season, I'll start with Savior's Day. Seeing the believers from near and far, hanging out, Children's Village, just seeing everybody from different cities. I love going to Muhammad University, Chicago. I could go on and on about that. The friendships that I gained at MUI, I still am very close with those. Like, those are my girls. Those are my best friends. The people that I met in kindergarten, I'm still very close with them and keep in touch with most of them. So I'll start off asking Curtisa, like, what did you love about growing up
in the Nation? Okay.
Yeah.
One of the major things that I love about growing up in the Nation is, of course, all those things you mentioned. I didn't go to MUI. We're not going to say what my age is, but MUI did not start until after I was already heading to high school.
Okay.
So that's why I didn't go.
Okay.
I went to Whitney Young, but all of my siblings went to MUI, and shoot, all my nephews and nieces go there too, so that's kind of cool that they all still attend.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I loved about growing up in the Nation is that knowing that Master Father Muhammad came for us gave me the confidence when I went out into the world. Mm-hmm. So even when I was in school, other schools, and I was in like a diverse demographic schools, I still knew that I could compete with them. Mm-hmm. Not because we're taught that they are better than us, they're smarter than us, we are inferior to them in the world. But I knew that we were not inferior. We were, we could be just as we put as much time. The difference between me and them was that they may go home and study, I may go home and get on the phone. But I would still be able to match their intellect, even putting in half the time they did. So the confidence that Master Father Muhammad gave me allowed me to be able to feel like I not superior, but not inferior.
That's
right. That's one of the things that I love about it. I feel that when I go to high school. I felt that when I was in the workforce, all of that. And people actually tell me that there's something about you, something exceptional about you. Right. That's not me bragging. Right. That's real. Right. People tell that to me. Right. Something different. What's different? What is it? I'm like, come on, you can get it. Come on across. Know what we know. We got the Supreme teachers. Come on over.
Right. Curtisa, you mentioned the workforce. Tell everybody what you do.
What I do. Okay.
She got money.
No, not true. People coming to my house. Okay. Not tag me in this situation. I'm an engineer by discipline. I worked for years as a project manager, building courthouses and renovating federal buildings. But now I work as a program manager. Now it seems like I'm doing less, but it was actually a promotion because I work with I have agencies as my customers, so I kind of handle all of their projects, all of their whole program.
So
projects.
You're a big deal, basically.
No, not a big deal. Honestly, not a big deal. I work for somebody, people who are the big deal, but I'm not a big deal. But it was actually a promotion for me. But I still love home project management, building buildings, construction, architecture, all of that. I love doing it. I didn't actually do it. I just worked with it. I still love it. Still want to continue to do that, though.
Awesome.
But I love who I work with and work for now. I promise you, I love it.
So for those who don't know about Sis Curtisa, her father is on the E team. And because I wanted to go into growing up, your father traveling along with the minister. So how did it feel for him to be away a lot of the time, and
you think away from your siblings?
No, probably not.
Okay, good. Hopefully, people don't follow him. Okay. I think the young brothers put him on Snapchat, so he might be, but I think we kind of felt a little relieved. I did not really get to if you do the timeline, again, not telling my age, the minister left, went overseas like in the 90s, late 90s, probably right around the time that I went away to college. But, so he was there. Okay. So I probably got in trouble more. You got to ask them. Because he was there. I couldn't spend a night on nobody's house. I couldn't
Okay, so you different experience.
Yes, but I noticed when I would come back for college, and he wasn't there, but when he would come, he coming on. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of got used to him not being there.
Okay.
And the trouble they would get into when he turned, y'all know my father kind of strict.
Okay.
He might have loosened up as he got older, but he was very, very strict. I couldn't do nothing as a teenager. So very, very, very strict. Very, very, very strict. The brother y'all know today is that brother. So, yes.
I just wanted to follow up since you're talking about being strict. How was it growing up and you couldn't celebrate holidays? That's a big issue, especially if you're not in MBY. For me, I left MBY when I was in 2nd grade, so ever since then, until I was in high school, I was in public school. So not celebrating holidays I felt left out,
Okay.
Like, how was that for you? Did you ever
It didn't bother me. I mean, honestly, I'm trying to remember, did it bother me? I was always put in a group there was like 2 other people, like 2 other Jehovah's Witnesses in my school, or 2 other, maybe Jewish people who did not celebrate all those. Yeah, so we would be together. So really, it was already established, so it was okay. And I accept gifts. If people want to give me gifts,
absolutely.
You want to buy me something for Easter, you want to buy me something for Christmas, I will accept it. I just didn't participate. People, another thing was funny when I said I didn't celebrate Christmas. They thought I celebrated Kwanzaa. And I had no clue what Kwanzaa was. As a teenager, I had no clue what Kwanzaa was. It wasn't until I got older, I got married, and his family celebrated Kwanzaa each day. They really took it to a whole new level. They really embraced Kwanzaa. So,
I had a question for you.
We got a live question from Brother Henry, Dr. Henry M. Carter. Shout out to Dr. Henry.
Black Panther themselves.
Has seeing the good, bad, and the difference of the faith impacted your faith?
One more again, what?
Has seeing the good, bad, and the difference of the faith impact your faith?
Seeing the good, the bad, and I think Brother brought up earlier about establishing balance. I think that's what I had to do, was establish a balance. There's bad, but is that related to what we're taught? Or is it related to who the people are? I mean, you find that out in the world. There's good, there's bad, but that doesn't mean that what we're taught is bad or the religion is bad. It's just whoever that person is, they took it and they internalized it and they used it for bad instead of good. So it has an impact in my faith. Sometimes it has, people's personality probably, put a little bit of stress on me and say, I'll make you want to give up a little bit. But when I used to come, for example, I would love to give an example. When you come to the mosque, you got people who, number one, did not like the fact that, or they thought that we thought we were special. Okay, number one. Number two, they felt like they were an authority, and so they wanted to, exert their authority over you. Take the opportunity to do that. And three, you got people who just plain old evil. So I would take it, I would respond, and then I would just, I would tell my child, like, listen, that's not what we're here for. We came here for the teachers, we came here for this, we came here, we believe. That's just one person. That doesn't mean that this is what this is based on. So it impacted me. It made me stronger. It made me allowed to teach my children a lesson so that they did not base this whole, all of this on what one person did or, influenced them or impacted them. So, yes, it gave me balance, made me stronger.
I think that's beautiful that you brought up, that you use it as a teachable moment for your children. Absolutely. Because children are always watching. Right. And a lot of times children that grow up in any religion, they don't carry on the faith tradition in the same way that their parents may have, because of certain things that they might have experienced and nobody processed that with them. Right. So I think that's good that you went ahead and said that was that individual, that was their personality. Right. That is not a reflection of our belief in our faith. That person has issues. No, you said it.
No, y'all said it. Black girl magic.
That's not right.
I wish I could have said it exactly
I have
like
another
that.
audience question for you, Sis Curtisa.
Okay, so from Brother Tony Holden, he's checking in all the way from Kuwait.
Hey, Brother Tony.
He said, Assalamu alaikum. Do you have any training as a lead in engineering? It is.
I'm sorry. Do I have any training?
It's in green technology.
Oh yes. Well, do I have any training? Well, I pursued getting LEED. Is that what it is? LEED. Did he say it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I pursued getting. I was attempting to get my LEED certification. I didn't go through with it. I did enough lead projects. I did a project where we had lead silver. I did a project where the building was lead gold, but I did not complete the lead certification. It's not a priority. Okay. I'm moving forward to get licensed. Moving forward to get my CMAA, which is construction management certification. So I'm good.
Okay. He asked a follow-up question. Okay, also, how is that related to nation building?
Everything that we do. Well, okay. Well, first, would y'all like for me to tell the story why I chose civil engineering?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. First of all, I'm also involved, brother. What was his name? Tony. Brother Tony in Kuwait. I'm also involved in the Ministry of Science and Technology as well. Mm-hmm. But and we used to host seminars at Savior's Day. Mm. I don't think I'm participating in anything this year, but I would always tell this story. When I was a teenager, maybe just going into high school, I was trying to determine what I would be doing in life. I grew up listening to the minister. So I was at I don't know if y'all know this about my father, but he's a chemist. His background is chemistry. So I chose chemical engineering, didn't choose civil engineering. And so when I was talking to my mom, my mother said, well, you're choosing chemical engineering, we need to be in the business of nation building. You need to be a civil engineer. I was like, well, I don't even know what that is. Mm. And there was this movie with Val Kilmer where he was over in an African or Indian country and he was building a bridge. Mm. And he was the builder, the designer, the construction manager. He was all of that. But this is the one where the lions were, I don't know the name of the movie. Can't remember the name of the movie. Y'all can look it up. But this is where the lions were targeting all of the people, literally coming in, targeting the people and killing them at night. Like killing them and eating them, and that's not their, that's not their nature. Mm-hmm. So, but I saw that movie. I was inspired. That's what I wanted to be. My first day of college, I switched from this chemical engineering line, got into the civil engineering line. And how it relates to nation building is that, I just told you that I work as a project manager for building construction projects, building federal buildings and courthouses. But in civil engineering, you can, there's so many aspects of it that involves infrastructure of a city, of a nation. So that is how it relates to, we can go further into talk about it, but you got to come to the Savior's Day thing where we talk about civil engineering. I talk about how we expand into different aspects of it. So. Okay. How long are we doing this?
We just we're gonna keep you up.
Okay, so what would be your advice for younger people struggling and growing up in religion, thinking it's too restricting or too strict, and they're having a hard time of balancing, being, young in the world and being religious?
Okay, so the thing that I don't want to call myself older people. The thing that I don't want to call myself seasoned.
You seasoned.
Really, Josh. Okay.
I'm just saying.
I hate him. The thing that older people have a hard time facing is that we are the people we are through the mistakes that we made. But for the younger generation, we strive to help you to learn a lesson without going through the mistake. Okay? So we would caution ourselves in telling you to, go through life, do everything we did to get to this point. We would want you to hear and listen to what our advice, and therefore you, skip right on over the action, the mistake, and learn the lesson of it. So the advice that I would give to younger people is, because that means that you would miss out all the fun that's associated with making a mistake too. So, but I don't know, because I have children that, I don't want to tell them to do the things that I did. You want to say, nah, I know I did it, but nah, that ain't for you. Don't do that. But, I struggle with that. I don't know. I would say, keep the faith. I mean, what does that mean, though? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
To me, I know because my children are older. They're not, my son's not watching, so I could just say,
right? You can say anything.